Hello and welcome to Chat Around the Cauldron. And my guest today is TJ. Hello, TJ.
Hello.
So, my name is Hen and I am an eclectic pagan and semi practicing witch. TJ, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm TJ and I'm a half hearth witch.
Okay, so what does a half hearth witch mean?
With a hint of sea. I feel more comfortable a hearth is the home.
Yes.
It's the center of the home. So what I do is I do for my home.
Okay, so you work your magic in and around your home and your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And do you practice magic?
Not a lot.
No, not a lot. A bit like me.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but when necessary.
Yeah. But I do. Some people would say I use my magic in my crafting.
Yes. So you are a crafter
Yeah.
and you have your own YouTube channel, which is called,
TJ, a work in progress.
and on that you have some of your crafting that you do, don't you?
I do have a playlist with some crafting in.
Yeah. And I've known you for quite a while now, TJ. So we got to know each other a little bit. And I've seen you've done a video where you're making what you call a wish bottle.
Yes.
And as soon as I saw it, I said, "You're casting a spell, madam." And you go, "Yes, I am." So
Because it's a
when
YouTube channel, I don't want to be going, this is a spell, because everybody will
yes,
switch off.
well, not necessarily, because I mean, I'm hoping that this channel will grow and people will find it and find it interesting to find out about other people, because we're all different.
Yes.
Every pagan or witch that I've come across, whether you call yourself pagan, whether you call yourself witch, whether you call yourself healer or truth finder or whatever you want to title yourself, or not give yourself a title at all. But everyone I come across has different ways of doing things and different beliefs.
Yeah.
And when you go and watch a YouTube channel that is one person running it, you're only learning their beliefs and their ways of doing things.
Well, that's the. Yeah. It wouldn't do for us all to be the same.
No.
So, what you do is different from what I do.
Yes.
What I do is different from what someone else does. But there
Yes.
will be some crossovers.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I knew straight away that your wish bottle is a spell. It's not a spell that I've done before, but it is a spell that I know of. I mean, I've done similar spells, but not with the bottle. I
But
tend to
that's
use flame when I do wish
yeah.
spells.
It's. I called it a wish bottle because
Mm,
90% of the population are more inclined to copy that if it's a wish bottle
yes,
than if it's a spell bottle.
yes, and I understand that.
So I was appealing to the masses. But
That's
those people who do witchcraft would have done exactly the same as you
yeah,
and said, she's crafting a spell.
yes, but not knowing that you believe in spell work, they would probably go, "Oh, she doesn't realise she's crafting a spell."
Exactly.
Oh, because you don't obviously advertise on your channel, because your channel is more. It's about you. It's about where you live. It's about your dog and your crafts and your puppets.
Yeah.
But you don't advertise on there that you are a witchy type person.
No, and I don't go out saying. I mean, I make ones. I have books, I have grimoires, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Journals, I make journals. Some people say that's a grimoire, depending on what you use to put in it.
Absolutely. It
So,
does. It depends what you fill it with, whether it would be a grimoire or not.
but what is a grimoire? It is a collection of um, spells, potions, ideas, thoughts handed
Yes.
down from the ancestors.
Yeah, and everyone can write their own grimoire.
Exactly. So my sister has a craft book,
Yeah.
and she hands that craft book to me, and I put my craft work in it. Who's stopping us from saying that that's a grimoire, not a craft book?
Very good point. Very good point. And this is sort of thing I'd like to get. I'd like to have more pagany, witchy type people on here, so we can discuss ideas and throw them about. Because I think it's good to learn off everyone and learn off each other. But also understand that, like you said, the way I do things might be different to the way you do things. Now, I've seen your ones because you made me one.
Yeah.
And the way you make your ones is very similar to the way I make my ones, which is very basic,
Yeah.
really basic. We don't add loads and loads of jewels and stuff to it. We keep it pretty natural.
Yeah. I mean, I have got a wand that is really ornate.
But it's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
I
But
mean,
when I was in Cornwall,
mm-hmm.
that wand spoke to me.
Yeah, it called out to you.
I prefer using my wooden simple ones, but I like having that in my possession. I like holding it. It
Yeah.
like it to be there.
Yeah, so like I have an Afame or Afame, however you want to pronounce it. I don't really use it. I did when I first got it. But again, like you, if I can go and pick a twig out off the ground and use that as a wand. You
Yeah,
don't have to do any, as far as I'm concerned, you don't actually have to do anything with that twig to make it a wand. Because all a wand is, in my, and maybe you have a different opinion, but in my opinion, it's an extension of your arm. It's
yeah,
an extension of your hand. It is like a pointy stick. You know when people are doing presentations and they've got the pointy stick they point at a blackboard or whiteboard with.
yes.
It's like that. It's directing that energy.
Energy towards, yes.
Yeah.
But it's
And
also if you are mixing, then you're not putting your sweaty, dirty fingers in the mix. You're
I understand.
using an implement.
Yeah. It can also. I do believe in different woods have different energies.
Yes,
I don't know if you believe that too.
yes,
So certain woods are better for certain magic. So
yeah,
willow being a very flexible wood is actually a really good basic wood for a wand, as far as I'm concerned,
yeah,
because it's flexible, which means it's manipulate. You can manipulate it. It can work for whatever you want it to work for. That's that. I mean, I've got quite a few willow ones that I've made over the years, and I do used to make them and sell them, not for much because they were literally twigs that I then stripped the bark off to a certain. Always left a little bit of bark as a handle, and then polished and waxed or oiled. Actually, is what I used to do, was oil them mostly. So
I use an oil.
yeah,
I the ones I've made recently have been out of cherry wood,
Is
which
that because
is
that's what's been available to you?
that's what's been available to me. Because my mum's got a cherry tree that which fruits, and she's got to prune it and keep it in shape and whatever. So once the pruning's been done, then I'll ask if I can have the prunings, and I take the prunings.
Yeah,
Always ask if you're going to take twigs. Always ask.
absolutely. And say thank you.
Yes.
So,
And cherry. From what I've read, I didn't know this, but from what I read, cherry supports mental health and strength.
oh, very interesting. So I need to root out the one you made me. It's what you're saying.
Well, I might be wrong. I might be reading the wrong stuff.
No, but the thing is, it can mean different things to other people, different people as well. And the same with like, so we talk about color representation a lot, and green could mean something completely different to you than it does to me, and we give these colors their meaning. You'll read a list, and this color means this, and this color means that, and this color means, but actually, it's your own personal meaning. To me, it's really your own personal meaning. So for me, yellow is happiness, brightness, friendship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Green, which is often used in wealth spells, by the way, is growth. It's outdoors. It's freedom. You know, white is purity, but it's also very cold. I think
See, I would go with the pale blue for purity because the water is not white. You see water as blue. It's clear. Water is clear.
water is clear. The blue is a reflection of the sky, isn't it?
Exactly. So I would go. I would say a blue was a pure color.
Yeah, but again, when we talk about the reflection of the sky, then blue could then be reflection.
Yeah.
You know, and helping you reflect on things. But it also, I mean, there's a lot of color therapy stuff, and color therapists will tell you what these colors mean. But again, I think it's the individual person, what that color means to them,
But
what that flower
people out
means.
there who think blue is a pale blue is a cold color. It's a chilly
Yeah.
color. It's a bathroom color. It's a kitchen color.
Yeah, it's very much bathroom color, isn't it? It's a calm color, is what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas yellow, again, like happy energy, you know, blue is more on the calm level. And like you said, if you look at a color wheel, blue would be on the cold side of your color wheel, where the yellows and oranges are on your warm side.
Warm sides.
Yeah.
Or your blues are on the calm side, and your reds and oranges are on your angry side.
Exactly. So it means different things to different people.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't want to cough on camera on thing. I don't know if I blocked it out or not.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, good. But so let's go back to, so you're a half witch, which means you work around the house.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're a caregiver as well? Because that quite often comes in hand, or do you see that as a separate thing?
That's a separate thing. I mean, I have been, but I'm not. I'm literally one of those people who'll throw a box of paracetamol at somebody and say, "Get on with it, or go to bed."
We're very much alike in that way, I think. I mean, I do care. I mean, you know full well I am a caregiving person. But when it came to raising my children, they'd come down and say, "I've got a stomach ache," and I'll go, "Have you been for a poo?" You know.
Have you had a drink of water?
Let's just rule out the possibilities before we put you to bed because you're not very well. You know. Let's start with the practical things first. And most of the time it was that they just needed a poo.
Or a drink.
Or a drink, yeah. No, with my son, it was always a poo. Yeah. Oh dear. I said I was going to keep this serious, but you know, I can't. I'm just being me. This is the real me.
Yep, that's you.
That's me. I talk about poo a lot. Don't know why, but I do. So, we've spoken before. You don't really follow the Celtic wheel of the year, do you?
Not really.
No.
But I know of it. I know bits of it.
You understand it because you have, people that do follow it.
Yes.
So I still do. And the reason I do is because, although I call myself an eclectic witch, or pagan, should I say, I do lean towards the Celtic side, and that would be my ancestry more than anything else. So most Wiccans will follow the wheel of the year, but it's definitely been around longer than that, a lot longer than that. But it's something that's been adopted into their faith system.
Yeah.
And we're recording this on the 2nd of February, and that means we've just come to the end of Imbolc on the wheel of the year, because that's celebrated, traditionally celebrated from sunset on the 1st to sunset on the 2nd. It is dark out there, so the sun has definitely set, so therefore it's come to an end. Now, what do you know about Imbolc?
It's not a lot, to be honest. No of it.
Okay, so it's the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox.
Yeah.
It's traditionally a fire festival. So you have 4 fire festivals in the year. In fact, let me bring up the wheel of the year. Bear with me a moment, so we can have a look at it. So this is the wheel of the year. So Samhain on October the 31st is the beginning of the year or the end of the year. I would say the 1st is the beginning, 31st is the end. Some people call it the Witches' New Year. And the reason it's the beginning or the end is because it's the end of the farming season.
Excuse me.
So
Right.
all the crops have been gathered in by this point, or should have been. And it's a time to it's time to sort of relax. It's the beginning of the dark season, which leads up to Yule and into Imbolc, really. So that's where you start. So we start with Samhain, and I will obviously get round to that when it comes back round again. We've had Yule, which is your winter solstice, and now we're on Imbolc, which I said is normally celebrated from sunset on the 1st till sunset on the 2nd. And it is, so there's there's 3 definitions of what Imbolc means. So there's one that they believe means use milk. There's another one that means in the stomach, I believe it is. And I can't remember what the 3rd one is. Let me see if I can find it again, because it's not one that I've heard of before, but it was something I learned today, because learn things every day.
Yes.
But I don't think I've got the right page open on my tabs anymore. But it is about that the ground is ready to bloom, if you like. The plants are slowly coming to the surface. Some of them have already broken through.
Yeah.
But it's also about spring cleaning. And that doesn't mean just cleaning your house, which I desperately need to do. It's also about clearing your mind and clearing away all the debris from the winter, if you like.
Getting rid of the
dark.
cobwebs which catch things that you don't need.
Absolutely. And it's also about preparing for the spring, because this is the first signs of spring. And for some people, it is the first of spring. But it's that preparing for the warmest months, preparing for the crops. So you might be starting to plant your bulbs, starting to plant the seeds, or start the seedlings off, if you like. It's that starting. So your spring bulb should be coming towards the surface now. So you said to say you've seen some crocuses already.
Not open, but
No, but they've come up.
They've come up, and I've got bluebells, and they're like 2 inches out the soil at the moment.
Yeah. So, which is a little bit early, and we have noticed that things are getting earlier and earlier and earlier. But for those skeptics out there, there's no global warming going on. I mean, it doesn't feel like it out there, to be fair. But no, the seasons are definitely shifting a bit. But they have been for many years. But February is the normal time that you would start seeing the crocus come up. It's normally more the middle of February, but definitely you'd start seeing them come up. And I know my mum used to love crocuses, so it's quite a special flower to me. But it's also, in Christian society, it's Candlemas. And for Catholics in particular, would be celebrating St. Bridget's Day.
Yeah.
Now, St. Bridget's Day is one of the lovely festivals that the church decided to adopt.
Borrowed it.
To adopt.
Oh, okay.
Adopt. I'm not staying still. Adopt. Because there was a goddess Bridget who was very much celebrated in Ireland in particular. And in order to help convert the Celts from the time, it was easier to just adopt some of their systems.
Yes.
And the same for, because there's actually Roman festival as well from this time, which is where the name February comes from. Let me see if I can remember it. Oh God, I'm thinking it's June. No, maybe not. But it's a cleaning festival. Let me just check what it is. Bear with me a moment. I'm not very good at this, am I? Oh, here we go. It's Lupercalia. Okay, so it's a Roman festival, and it's a spring. So it was a cleaning, or they did clean during it, and the name of February comes from the cleansing instruments they used at the time, called Februar. So, but that's quite cool. So you did find a lot of pagans from all over the world, whether they were Celtic or Germanic or Roman or I'm going to say Viking, and Viking is not the word. What? Norse. They do have festivals at certain points of the year that all seem to align.
Yeah.
But that's because, again, they follow the seasons. and the farming calendar, which is why it makes sense to me to follow the farming calendar, or the seasons, or the Sabbats that we see here in front of us. So, but yeah, so I I say I'm not particularly religious, but I do love Bridget. I think she was an awesome goddess in so many ways. So she was a goddess of the hearth and home. She was also a goddess of the of smithery. So actually, TJ, she's very much like you.
So I should be called Bridget.
But she was a very strong woman as well. And
So I should be called Bridget.
Yeah, maybe.
Isn't
Maybe.
Bridget warlike?
Pardon?
Bridget, the name, is warlike.
Yeah. So she did. I believe she did battle, but it was more. She did battle the mind more than anything else. So there is a story about. She wanted land because she built convents. Well, the not the goddess, the saint built convents, and she had her nuns looking over these convents, and they had a fire that they had to keep alight, and that still burns now in Ireland. That fire still burns. It had to be relit, but it's being kept alight again now. But she needed the land to build this convent on. So the story goes that she said to whoever owned the land, she made a deal with him. Whatever land my cape covers, will you gift it to me? And he said, yeah, no problem. And she managed to make the cape stretch acres and acres and acres. So she managed to get the land she needed. She's a very cunning woman.
Yeah.
And me being pagan says, well, no human being could have done that. So that's why I definitely believe that the stories of the goddess and the saint have overlapped, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, I've got written in my book, Bridget.
Yeah.
B is for bestow, as you give so much. R is for respect, earned through your actions. I is for intense, your zest for living. D is for discreet, you can keep a secret. G is for giggle, a laugh never hurts. I is for important, the search for all parts of life that are. T is for tender, loving nature. And T is for tough, for you are not easily broken.
Oh. So there's lots of spellings of the name Bridget.
Yes.
So my mother was a Bridget, which is Brigid, which is another reason why I connect to her. And she does remind me of my own mother. I think my mother's name really suited her. Because, like I said, she was a very strong woman, but she was also a very loving, caring woman. The saint story is that she also nursed the baby Jesus. She was his
Wet nurse.
Well, not wet nurse, his
Nanny, babysitter.
nanny type thing, yeah. So she adopted him almost. So she was his caregiver. So yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot I can like about this particular goddess, and if I was to connect with anyone, that would be the one I would connect with, because she has all of the qualities. She's strong, she's wise, she's crafty, and I mean crafty as in able to make things. So she made shields and stored and all that sort of stuff. She was, but she also is caring and giving and loving. They have wells, so she was also related to water. So they have wells where you can get blessings from and stuff. So, and they still exist. They still sit out there now. But yeah, but something else that's happened in the last few days
Yeah.
is awesome. And you were saying we need to talk about this. Would you like to talk about it?
We've had a green comet, which has not been near us for 50,000 years. And some people may feel a shift of energy. I have felt a shift of energy. I feel more positive. I don't know, maybe it's because it's 11 degrees outside instead of 6. No, but it just amazes me that these things are out there, and it went across on
The night of
a night of, my words have gone, a special night for special people.
yes. So one of the Sabbaths in the UK, it went across on the night of the Sabbath.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling to find images of it from last night.
I did go out to have a look, but it's too cloudy.
It was very cloudy.
I was up very early this morning, and it was still cloudy.
So it is moving very slow. So the images I have found were from a couple of weeks ago, and I believe they're in Alabama. So that will make one of our friends very happy that it's images from where she lives.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can get up. I am going to share. It's from the Independent, so you will see that come up initially. But I'll try and go big screen as quickly as I can. There we go. I'm going to turn the sound off. I don't think we need the sound. It's just silly music. You know what they do.
Yeah.
So here we go. So obviously this is not as far. It's moving a lot slower than this. So
this is a series of photographs that's been made into a moving image.
Yeah. So time-lapse video, if you like.
Yeah.
But there you go. And that's probably hours and hours of watching it.
That little clip would have been 7, 8, 9 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said, it was too cloudy for us to look at it last night. But I do feel that there's been a shift in energy. So those that have been following me on my other channel know I've been going through a bit of a dark period, putting it mildly. But I do feel like the clouds have lifted in the last couple of days. And whether it's the energy of the comet, which it could be, or the energy of the world waking up, because that's what we're doing. This time of year is about fresh starts, cleaning away the cobwebs, and the world starting to come back to life. And I feel like it's happening to me. Although things that have caused me the darkness haven't gone, I do feel like the darkness is lifting.
But
so
they're not hanging over you. They're
yeah,
there.
it doesn't feel like I've got that weight on my shoulders. I don't feel like I've got that cloud. You know, I mean, things aren't getting better. There's stuff that's getting worse for me, if anything else. But
It's not moving.
It's not pushing me down at the moment.
I mean, I was wondering why I cleaned the cooker the other day, and now I know.
Yeah, my energy has lifted. I mean, I went out for the first time last night in a long time.
Good.
But But if my energy hadn't lifted, I would have cancelled that. But because the energy started lifting a couple of days before that, I was able to go out. And
So
it was great.
hang on just a second. Technically, you were outside while that comet was going over.
Yes. Well, I don't know what time it went over.
Did you feel better? I'm not saying loads, but did you feel better for being out there?
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, so
did you feel recharged when you came back?
I know I had a splitting headache when I came back, but I think that was anxiety more than anything else, and lack of caffeine.
But you
Yeah,
didn't go to bed. You streamed.
I did stream.
So you weren't tired. You weren't exhausted, and you would have been if you'd gone out. Whereas you went out because of your anxiety, that would have drained you.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, but I'm also pointing out what I saw and heard happen.
Yes.
And
No,
what
I
I knew of
understand.
you. Ordinarily, if you'd have gone to the shops, you'd have been full of anxiety. You'd have come home, you'd have zonked out because your stress levels would have been so high. Well, you went out.
Yeah.
You were up all day and you went out and you were talking with people and you were socializing with people. And although your anxiety levels were so high, you had a headache, you still had enough energy to stream on your other channel when you came home last night.
Yes, you're right.
I consider that a bit of a charge, a bit of a boost.
That tends to happen anytime I go to a circle. So I went to a circle last night. So circle gathering, or moot as we call them, and it was to celebrate in bulk. And it was different to how I would normally celebrate it because I have my own ways of doing it. But it was really good to get involved. It was a Wiccan based ceremony because I knew the woman as soon as I saw who was running it, and I know her personally. I'm like, it's going to be Wiccan based. So the circle itself is very much inclusive, and they have different people leading it. I've only found out about it recently, and apparently it's been running for 30 years. But it's always been on different times to when I used to go to the circle or run the circle, because I used to run a circle there. And but different people take lead. And as soon as I saw who was running it, I'm like, it's going to be Wiccan based. And it was. And I've been to lots of Wiccan based things, but this was a different person running it to the other Wiccan based things I've been to. And she did it in a different way. And it was very relaxed. It was very comfortable. There was hand holding, as there always is, and sharing of energy. There was a meditation, which was lovely. We did attempt to light candles because obviously being in bulk, it's fire and candles.
Yeah.
The wind wasn't allowing it. The wind wasn't really allowing the fire. Although it did, while she was talking about in the meditation, we met the goddess. I opened my eyes at that moment and saw the flames rise, which was awesome. Because they pretty much gone out at that point. So it's the energy was there, and we did send out healing energy or take healing energy if that's what we needed at the end. But I'd been standing there with my hood up the whole time. Now, I used to be very, very, very much involved.
Can I just interject there?
Yeah.
So these people welcomed you in, not knowing who you were.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes. And most of them didn't know me. So But I was being standing there with my hood up, and I'd seen a couple of faces I recognised, but I hadn't gone over to say hello to them because I was quite happy to just be in the background, if that makes sense. But after we'd done all the ceremonial stuff, it was time to normally see. Any time I've been before, we introduce ourselves before we start the ceremonial stuff, but this time we waited till the end, and or towards the end, and it got round to me, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Hen. Some of you might know me." And I heard people go, "Oh my God, you've been hiding under that hood the whole time," and I'm like, "Yes." But it was like, it was my first step back out there since before COVID.
Yeah.
And it did, and I said to, I spoke to people about some ideas that I've been having and what I'd like to do, but I haven't got the energy to do it at this moment in time. And one of them is to set up a moot. But I also used to run craft fairs. So I was talking to one of the ladies I know that used to attend not only all the pagan events I did, but also the craft fairs that I did, which were a separate thing. And I was asking her whether she'd been to any fairs recently and how she got on. And I'm saying, I said to her, I want to do it, but I don't think the time is right. And she's like, no, you're right, it's not. They're not really getting the attendance that they need to be successful at the moment, unless they've been ones that have been running for the last 20 years and have a very high capacity anyway, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, the ones that cost people £120 for a stall and people pay £5 to get into, they're doing okay. But then their profit margins on the stall holders are not as high as they were before COVID.
No, I've speak to a few people who go to different types of settings, and they do stalls and things like that, and they've all said that it's picking up. It is picking up, well, obviously, because for 2 years you do anything anyway.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near even halfway what they would be expecting at this time of the year.
So something else I talked about was the fact that the organisation that I was running basically has folded over COVID because my team, unfortunately, their lives have moved on and they can't commit to it. But I did say about possibly starting up a moot, which is just a social gathering of like-minded people, and seeing if I can build up from there and get back to it eventually. And that's something I'm really considering. But again, I'm not sure the timing is quite right yet. It's almost there, but not quite. When you feel it's just not quite the time. I know it's almost there, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, and that's fine. It will happen when it's going to happen. Yeah. It's no good pushing it, because if you push it, you're going to strain it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not work.
Absolutely. But there was a lot of people that were, yes, please do. Or a few people that said, yes, please do. Including the person that was running the circle. As soon as I said I was thinking about doing a moot, she went, yes, please. And I'm like, but you've just told me there's one in our town. She goes, no, do it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll see. Because that is me committing again. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that commitment yet. Yes. But it's something I've been saying, what about, well, as long as you've known me.
Yeah.
That I want to get it up and running again. I'm just not ready yet. I need to, I think, have other things in place in my life before I can start.
Yes.
Doing that again.
Sorry, that sounded a bit.
No. But it is something I can now look forward to again. And I know that there will be a positive reaction.
And having something to look forward to
Literally.
is an addition to for as a boost.
Yes. So, but you said you did. You said you had the urge to clean your cooker, or did you have no choice?
I didn't have to. It's not something that this household that I have to do.
No.
But I did it.
Yeah. No. But that's spring cleaning, isn't it? It is and it is a good time to start. If you haven't cleared away and put your Christmas decorations yet, go and do it. You know, they're still sitting in a box in a corner somewhere, like mine are. Go and do it. Not that I really didn't get many out this year, so it's just Christmas crackers, really, and a Christmas tree candle.
Well, we have a candle on the table, the dining table, and because it didn't go away, it won't be going away.
No. Well, I've actually started. I actually lit my Christmas tree candle the other day. I hadn't lit it over Christmas, but it's only a Christmas tree candle in the fact that it's a Christmas tree shaped jar. But yeah, it's like, I mean, the crackers, they're just there in the corner. They go in the wicker basket when I get round to opening the wicker basket up. That's where they belong. Which is still in the living room. It's not up in the loft.
But I go by the 12 days before Christmas, 12 days after Christmas, and then anything that's not put away or taken down, because it takes a while for me to get things put away.
It gets.
So if it's hung up, it's got to come down.
Yes.
And I have nutcrackers, and they can't be on display, so it doesn't matter if they're still out.
Yeah.
But they're packed away, kind of thing. They're not on display, so that to me is packed away. That's away.
Yes. Yeah. But they're in their box, so they're not out.
Yeah, they're not out. Even if they weren't in their box, but they weren't where they were, so they weren't the decorations for the year.
No.
But the candle was on the table. Everything we're doing, we just forgot to put this candle away. So that candle is going to stay there all year.
Is it a particular Christmassy candle?
Well, it's somebody made it for me, and they've stuck. It's a white candle, and somebody stuck "Merry Christmas" on it, and little bits of holly, and little. You look at it, and it says "Merry Christmas," and it's a little wreath and all that. So it's a nice little candle, but it's going to stay there.
Fair enough.
People are going to go, "Why have you got a Christmas candle on your table?" And I'll go, "Because." And I'll go, "Oh, okay."
Because I'm a superstitious bitch.
Not with everything.
Certain things.
Yes.
Certain things. And we all have superstitions and beliefs and faiths and all sorts of random things. I mean, so we had a friend from Alabama come down, didn't we?
We did.
Yes, in the summer. And some of her superstitions, I'm like, you're crazy. Why? But then they aligned with some of yours. So was there was something about splitting? No, it wasn't yours. It might have been yours as well, but it was our friend from Scotland. The splitting a pole. Have you ever? So for example, if you
say the what?
If you were going past a lamppost, you'd have to go both the same side of the lamppost. You can't have one go either side of the lamppost.
Oh no, I don't do that.
So that's one of your beliefs as well.
No, that's not one of my beliefs.
Oh, okay. So it's like it's a new one on me. But it drove our Alabamian friend and our Scottish friend completely insane if I almost went the wrong way. Like, it's bizarre.
And it's even funnier when you're walking behind all three of you's recording it.
I know. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why can't I walk this side? No, you can't. Okay, I can't. I get you. But I do think we do all have our superstitions. I mean, like the putting the new shoes on the table.
I don't put any
shoes on the table. Because, you know, if they're old shoes, it's unhygienic. But the new shoes is to do with, it's a bearer of death, isn't it? Or a harm. It represents death, doesn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yes.
Putting an umbrella up in the house. That drives me mad. I will shout at someone for putting an umbrella up in the house, and I don't know why. But it's a tradition. It's a superstition that I grew up with.
Handed down in your family.
Exactly.
I was always taught when you leave a dinner table, put the chair under the table.
Yep. Otherwise, you're inviting someone to sit down on that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that one. But anyway, I think we're going to roll it up here. Roll it up.
Roll it up. That's okay.
Roll it up. No, roll it up isn't the word. What's the word I'm thinking of? Tie it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up here. That's after talking about Yule and Christmas. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. It's been really nice talking to you today and getting to know a little bit about what you believe in and what you don't believe in and all that palaver. And we'll probably talk again at some point. But thank you for joining me on this first video for this channel. I do have some other videos from my previous channel that I may transfer over, but this is the first video for this channel. So thank you for joining me.
Pleasure.
Goodbye, everyone, and see you soon.
Goodbye, everyone.